Hi, I'm Norm Kern, and I'd like to welcome you to Access MC, Access to Motorcycling. Each month, we take you to motorcycle events, both amateur and professional. Once again, we're coming to you from the American Motorcyclist Association Heritage Museum in Westerville, Ohio. This unique museum was built to showcase and preserve America's motorcycling heritage. This month, we're going to Oregonia, Ohio for the annual Hillclimb. This event, held on the Fritz Powell Farm, is promoted by the Dayton Motorcycle Club. It has been held on the second Sunday of October every year since the late 1940s. Once again, we are privileged to have Bob Moore, longtime DMC member and Oregonia Hillclimb announcer, to describe the action.
Thank you, Norm. This is the 43rd running of the Devil Staircase Hillclimb, and it started off on a beautiful early morning in Warren County. You can see the mist coming off the scenic Little Miami River in the background. It's quiet, serene. You can hear cattle in the background, some chickens, but I'll tell you, it isn't too much longer before the roar of high-powered engines will be echoing off the hills in this hollow. Here is a lane that goes back from the farm back up into the hollow where the hill is located. The workers have been down here for a couple weeks getting the hill ready, and this is the way it looked about 6 o'clock race day morning. It's very serene, quiet, a little bit of background music to kind of keep the workers happy. We did have some early arrivals that morning. These guys come in from all over the United States, and here we have a couple guys starting to unload their rig. They probably traveled all night and had very little sleep, so they do look kind of weary. Here's one of the early arrivals, and I would say that this was a Vietnam War vet with a little bit of his tour of duty still on his tank there. It's a beautiful machine, though. You can see how long it is to be able to negotiate that hill. Long wheelbase like this keeps the machine from flipping over backwards sometimes. Here we have a shot of the intricacy of the oil lines and fuel lines that feed the fuel injectors. It's quite scientific, very professional looking. Machines are well designed and they are very beautiful. Here we have a picture of the chain that's put on the rear wheel to help get good traction going up the hill. Machines are well put together, and we have an aircraft type weld on this frame member. Mechanics are very diligently preparing the machines for that day's competition. They leave nothing unturned. Cotter keys are all in place, safety wire, and ready to go. Now here we have the mechanics and the riders signing up for their credentials, making sure that the program's all put together paper-wise. Here is a unique machine. If you take a very close look at it, it's cantilevered rear end. It's 4-cylinder. It's a beautiful piece of equipment. Very light, very functional. Nothing on there is unnecessary. But you'll notice the shock absorbers for the rear suspension. It actually has 3 of them, 2 on the top side and 1 below.
We're in the pits with Tim Frazier out of Lancaster, Ohio. He's trying for his 3rd national championship in the 500 class. What years did you win the 500 class championship, Tim?
In 88 and 90.
And you're going after the 91 now. This is a little bit unusual. You want to tell the fans why it's unusual?
Well, we wrapped up the title for the 91 season last week at York, Pennsylvania, and we had enough points that Noah can beat us here today. So now we're just going for the last one of the year because we've won all the hill climbs up to now, and we'll be the first person in the history of hill climb to win all the events in 1 year.
Now there's been 7 professional hill climbs, right?
Yeah, there's been 7 this year. No, yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah, and this is the 8th one. This is the last one, and you've won 7 of them, right?
Yeah, I won 7 of them this year, and I won them all last year, but won.
So in the past 2 seasons, you've only lost 1 hill climb?
I lost 1 Point Payne hill climb and 1 Invitational National, and that was it. I won the Invitational National this year for the first time.
Well, Tim, how old are you?
27.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married to Lisa Frazier. She used to be Louis Grenser's daughter. He's an 800cc rider and a past champion too.
So well, we've got kind of a family dynasty going here, right?
Yeah, because you got my other brother-in-law, Lou Grenser Jr. and Jeff Yoder. They're in position to win the 800 class today. And my father-in-law, Lou Grenzer, he's in 5th in the point standings. And we got our cousin Ricky Hunter right in there too. So it's just keeping it in the family.
I tell you, that's something else, isn't it? Are there any young Frasers?
No, not yet.
Been too busy climbing hills, huh?
Yeah, just keeping things going the way they are right now. We'll think about that later.
Now we have the fans that are just now starting to come into the Fritz Powell farm. This is a scene of the motorcycle parking lot that's taken from pretty well up on the hill. After they've paid their admission at the gate, they're free to wander back through the pit area.
We're in the pits of the Williams family out of Markham, Ontario, Canada. We have
Wade Williams.
And we have
Greg Williams.
Right. And you both ride the 800 Rockets, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just joined the class this year. I took a year off to build up the new bike, and this is our first year campaigning it.
And I've been running the 800 class for 9 years with my dad now, and right now we're sitting tied for first place with little Louis Grenzer out of Elkhart, Indiana, and Jeff Yoder sitting behind us and 2 points back, so it's anybody's ball game today. We're just going to go out there and run hard and hope the bike runs well and hope I can get it through the timing light at the top.
Well, this is a family affair, and there's one family member missing. Brother John, come on over here. This is the chairman of the board, John Williams. John, what do you think about your boys being in the heat of the battle here?
Well, ever since they both started hill climbing the first year out, they were finished in second place, so you never really get used to them being in there, but boy, it was really something. Wade was down 11 points, I guess, as he mentioned, 2 hill climbs ago, and he's right back in first place again, and we're all pretty excited here right today. We've checked and checked and checked and made sure everything's right, so we're just going to get out there and get at it.
John, I asked you last year how old you were, and you told me you and Moses was trailer partners, so I'm not going to ask you this now. But how old are you, Wade?
I'm 31 years old right now.
And Greg?
I'm 28 years old.
Greg's a baby of the family. John, are all 3 of you riding in the same class?
We're all riding in the 800 class.
How does it feel to be competing against your dad?
Well, the whole year's been kind of strange for me. I don't look at it as competing against just my dad. I'm competing against everybody out there, and he's one of the competitors that I have to beat.
In other words, it's no holds barred when you go up that hill, right?
That's right. When we're on the line, it's just you and the bike, and you're not thinking, oh, well, what if I beat Dad? You know, is he going to buy me dinner or feed me groceries this week? Or you just have to go out and do your own show and just go as fast as you can.
In other words, there's no pecking order in the Williams family. Is this correct?
No, definitely not. We work as a team together to try and make sure all these bikes are right before we get them in the pits. But once we get them there, it's serious business, and we're all out for our own tails, so to speak. We go out there and we run hard, and it's not, if Dad was sitting in first place, I'd back off to let him have it or anything like that. Everybody's going for it every ride.
If you rode a motorcycle and you want to leave, looks like the hill's ready for action. The first rider is due off, and I'll tell you one thing, it's a tough one. Now here we have the very first rider in the 500 class. This is Scotty Everett. He's a veteran, been around for quite a while, and watch the action. Coming out hard, watch him get it up in the air, and he's moved right down the road. Could not control it. It's a tough hill to get going on. The very first hump coming out of the pit, it's tough. And if you get that front wheel up in the air, a nice donut on your hands. The bike wasn't damaged, neither was Scott, so he came back later on in the program. Wasted his very first attempt at the hill. Now here we have Bruce Swigert, number 44. Also in the 500 class. Bruce is a tough rider. Listen to him wind that dude up. He's hanging off the right side of the hill, but he's got a good climb going. Had her near a little bit, but he turned an 8.592. Here we have Ralph Krieger coming out of the hole. Ralph's looking good. Keeps her down low on the ground. That was good for an 8.271. Here's our old friend Ernie Pellin. Ernie's been around for many, many years, climbing hills all over the United States and Canada. Ernie doing a dance going up the hill, turned to 7.850. Now here's one of the two-stroke machines. This is Paul Garrity on the Kawasaki. You don't see many two-strokes in years gone by, but they're really gaining in popularity. Paul turned a 9.312. A lot of the young fans were down there this year. Teenagers, yeah, people in the early 20s and 30s. So sport of motorcycle hill climbing is really gaining acceptance with the younger crowd. Here we have a Rotax powered machine ridden by Ted Wilkins. Got a variable clutch in. Boy, and I'll tell you, that sucker just screamed all the way up that hill. Turned a 7.67 too. It was a good time. Another Kawasaki with Bill Apicella on top of it. Coming out of the holes looking real good. Bill kept it on the ground real well. Kept that power going. Turned an 8.569. Saw a lot of camcorders down this year. People really putting away the memory banks for when the snow flies. Now here we have number 7, Larry Lick. Larry turned in a 4th fastest time of the day on this run. Cranked off a 7.555 and he went over the hill in good shape. Fans just can't wait to watch these hill climbers. Boy, they really hang on those fences. They love those hill climbers. Here we have number 40. This is Alan Hoskins. Alan's a very good rider. Notice how he backed off, got over that first hump, and then really poured the coal to it. He had 6th fastest time of the day with that 7.730. Striking blue leathers. Those were worn by Richard Sauter, riding a KTM. Richard also got under the 8-second with a 7.941. This gentleman here was actually on a motocross type setup machine, but boy, I'll tell you, he waltzed his way up the top of the hill. Had a lot of new riders down there this year. Another 2-stroke machine, Gary Miller. Takes a lot of courage to climb these hills, and I'll tell you, these guys do not lack. He had an 8.658, 13th time. Soderback on his 2nd climb. Very, very consistent. Richard's 2nd climb time was only 1/1000th of a second slower than his 1st. There's a view of the crowd taking him off the top of the hill. There's a small creek valley in between the 2 segments of the crowd, and the other crowd's up on the other hill on the other side. Now here's the reigning national champ. This is Tim Frazier out of Lancaster, riding a Beezer, and boy, watch this boy ride. Determination, boy, he'd tell you he dug all the way up top of the hill. Set fast time of the day on the first run with a 7.027. Won the Devil Staircase Hill Climb and cinched the national championship with that ride. Here we have Douglas Clown. Doug's a veteran hill climber of many, many years. Bike wasn't running real well, but he did get an 8.301. This is father of a family member here, Leon Everett, number 86. Leon's been climbing hills for quite a few years. Turned an 8.435 with that climb. That turned out to be good for 10th spot. Now watch this. This is something. Oops! Did you see that? Fritz Ewald just destroyed an engine, and I mean to tell you, pieces flew everywhere. That engine was completely junk. Piston come up and knocked a hole in there. You can stuck your foot through it. This is a view of the crowd. Everybody having a good time, enjoying the last of the warm summer days of Indian summer. Waiting on Fritz to get his machine out of the way and putting number 55, David Powers against Devers. That's David Devers against the line. David's sitting there while other riders are grooming their takeoff. He's coming up the hill real steady. Good ride, good steady ride. Turned an 8.563. Now here we come the old guy that's going to win the national championship with that climb right there. That number 4 was Louis Garancer Jr. His father was 4-time national champ. Louis turned to 6.458. With that climb, he took the national championship. Notice the pile of dirt back in the back. There wasn't anything there at all at the first part of the climb, and that little hill there just kept getting bigger and bigger as the guys dug out in the pit. Takes a bulldozer at the end of the day's competition to move all that dirt back to where it started off from. This is the crowd that's milling around at the bottom of the hill down in the concession area, buying t-shirts, leather goods. They really have a social event that it's got to last them the rest of the winter. It's the last big event of the year. Here we have Rodney Smith, rider number 34, digging out of the pit. Rodney about lost it there. He got pretty good fishtail. He's kind of shaky all the way up the hill, but he turned a 7.672. Good time. Now we have the old veteran, 4-time Grand National champ Louis Garancer Sr. out of Elkhart, Indiana. Rider number 5, riding a powerful Harley Davidson out of his own shops. Rider number 10 back in the pit. This is Charlie Casey. Charlie riding the Yamaha, boy, and I'll tell you, he really does a good job with that machine. About jarred his teeth loose on that first hill there. Turned to 7.987 now. Now, out of Markham, Ontario, Canada, this is Greg Williams now. Greg's 4-time national champ. Boy, he's turning a good time. He's under 7 seconds. Turned to 6.943. But he started developing engine trouble, and that was the only run he made at the hill. This is one of Lou Garancer's Harleys, ridden by Harry Schreiber Jr., rider number 20. Didn't have a real good attempt at this hill. The machine started bogging down. He only turned at 8.002. The crowd knew that he could do better, so they're waiting on Harry Schreiber to make his second run. Here comes the other half of that Wade brothers. This is number 3, Wade Williams. 4-cylinder Honda, just screams. Beautiful running machines. Wade turned to 6.648, and that was good for 4th fastest time of the day. This is rider number 14. This is Tommy Zink. Tommy's a neat old guy. He really loves the sport of hill climbing, and he'll sit and talk all day with you. Tom had carburation trouble, and you can only get an 8.611 on that climb. Now out of Columbus, Ohio, this is our old friend Tommy Reiser. Tommy's been climbing hills since the late 50s. Still does a good job, turned in a 7.037 on his first run. Now this green Kawasaki rider, this is number 35, this is Dave Overholt. Dave's one of the new guys trying to get this 2-cycle power hooked up. Best run he could get was a 9.149 on that attempt. Now we have Louis Garancer Sr. Grand old man motorcycle hill climb. Turned in at 7.109. This is Bobby Marsh. Now he's a veteran too, and watch him get away from him. That first hump, boy, I'll tell you, that first terrace, that's why they call it the Devil's Staircase. It's got 3 distinct terraces in it. Boy, you have to take all 3 of them. Should Bobby up a little bit. You look at that flip he took. When he had that bike up in the air, he was 12, 14 feet off the track. When he came down, he's traveling maybe 40, 50 mile an hour, and it's a jolt to your system. But he shook it out. Rider number 2, Harley mounted Jeff Yoder. Jeff loves that Devil's Staircase. Boy, he's been coming down here every year. Turned in a 7.012. Now we got Greg Williams back. This is going to make a good ride. This is going to make him some money. Sounding good. Boy, he never shut her down. Turned to 6.584, which is good for third fastest time of the day. Harry Schreiber making his second run at the hill. Really improved his time. He turned to 6.794. It was good for seventh fastest time in the 800 class. Now watch Tommy Reiser. Boy, he lets it all hang out on this run. Fearless. Tommy is strictly fearless. Look at the way he dances that bike around. Under the 7-second bracket, turned to 6.963, which was good for ninth fastest time. Now we're back with David Overholt again. About lost it there on that first hump. Boy, you got to be careful with that one. Bogged his machine down and he had to fight it all the way up. Turned to 9.408. Here we have Lou Gehrentzer making his second run. This is going to put him in the money. Lou turned to 6.849, good for eighth fastest time in the 800 class. Number 11, this is Ricky Hunter. Just about lost her there, but he got her back down. Rick turned to 7.632. Another one of those Harleys down there in cackling away. Jeff Yoder. Jeff's looking good, tough, man. Had sixth fastest time of the day with a 6.737 on that run. This is Tom Chatter, number 24. Tom won this a year ago. Tom's not exactly a neophyte hill climber, but he's only been climbing hills for about 3 years, and he's already run with the big boys. Turned to 6.715 for fifth fastest time of the day. Well, the hill climb's over. 1991 is going to fade away. People hate to leave. Tim Frazier had fast time in the 500 class. Ted Wilkins, Paul Pinsonot, Larry Licht, Ernie Pellin with your top 5 finishers. People just sit out there and talk, have a few beers, sandwiches. Kind of really hate to break it up, but the sun goes down the west early in the second Sunday in October. Lou Gehrentzer Jr. won his first national championship on that climb in the day's activity. Turned to 6.458. Bob Castledine was second. Greg Williams took third. Wade Williams took fourth. Tom Chatter was fifth. A good day's action. Beautiful day for hill climbing. Everybody's told to bring their friends and come back the second Sunday in October in 1992.
The hill climb is yet another of Ohio's great motorcycling traditions, being the largest event on the professional hill climbers circuit. Each year it continues to be a favorite of riders and fans alike. Well, that's all we have time for this month. Remember, there will be a new show again next month. In the meantime, I invite you to join the over 7 million people who enjoy the world of motorcycling. See you next time.